Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, The Math Part, and today we're going to do quadratic equations. So we're going to start with some easy questions and then progressively move on to some advanced questions. So if you look at the first question, it says solve the equation 5x squared plus 10x plus 2 equals to 0. Now, in order for you to recognize a quadratic equation, what you need to remember is that a quadratic equation will have variables, and the highest degree of power of the variables will be 2. So for example, the equation over here, 5x squared plus 10x plus 2. 5x squared is the term with the highest degree of power of x, and that degree of power is 2. For example, it was 5x squared plus 2 equals to 0. This is also a quadratic equation because once again, the highest degree of power of x is 2. Hence, this is also a quadratic equation. Even let's say 5x squared plus 10x. This is also a quadratic equation. So both these equations are also quadratic equations. So going back to the question, it's asking us to solve the equation and saying you must show all your working and give your answers correct to 2 decimal places. Now, whenever in the question it has identified the answer has to be correct to some decimal places or like significant, automatically we choose the quadratic formula. Now the quadratic formula looks like x equals to negative b plus minus square root of b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a. This is the quadratic formula. Now, in order for us to identify what the values of a, b, and c are, we go back to the equation in the question, which is 5x squared plus 10x plus 2. Now, this is similar to the quadratic equation, which comes as ax squared plus bx plus c equals to 0. Now, if we compare the equations given to us, 5x squared plus 10x plus 2 is in the same format as ax squared plus bx plus c. And if we compare the coefficients of x squared x, and if we compare the constants, a equals to 5, b equals to 10, and c equals to 2. Once we've identified the values for a, b, and c, we just directly go back to the quadratic formula, substitute the values, and start finding the value of x. So it's going to be negative 10 plus minus square root of 10 squared minus 4 times 5 times 2. And this is going to be divided by 2 times 5. So negative 10 plus minus, that's going to be 100 minus 40 over 10. Which is going to give us square root of 60 over here. Since it's saying decimal places, so we just plug in square root of 60 in our calculators. And square root of 60 basically equals to 7.74 x minus 10 plus minus 7.7. I should around 7.45, yeah. Right by 10. So now we split the fraction into 2 different fractions. In one fraction, it's going to be negative 10 plus 7.745 divided by 10, which will equal to 7.7. 5, negative 0.23, and the other one is going to be negative 10 minus 7.745 divided by 10, which will equal to negative 1.77. So these are the two values of x, and they're correct to two decimal places. If we look at question 2 is similar, okay, let's do question 3. In question 3, it's saying solve x minus 7 times x plus 4 equals to 0. Now, if you look at the question, it's only a 1-mark question, which means it's just one step. Now, if you go back to the question, two brackets are being multiplied and the result of their product is equal to 0, which means either of these two brackets can be equal to 0, or both can be equal to 0, because when you multiply them, the final answer is 0. So you can split the brackets and we can make both the brackets equal to 0. And if you make x the subject in both cases, in the first case, x equals to 7, and the second case, x equals to negative 4. And that is your answer. Simple as that. Then if you look at question number 4, it says factorize 3x squared plus 2x minus 8. Now, in this case, I'm going to try solving this from factor by grouping, and let's see if we can get the answer for that. If we cannot get the answer from factor by grouping, then we can just use the quadratic formula we did in the previous case. So in factor by grouping, 3x squared plus 2x minus 8. Step 1 is going to be multiply 3x squared and 8. So when you multiply 3x squared and 8, we get 24x squared. Step 2 is find factors of 24x squared. The factors of 24x squared, actually let's just stick with 24, yeah, because x squared will just come as it is. So factors of 24 are 3 times 8, 24 times 1, 12 times 2, 6 times 4, and I think we have all the factors, yeah. Now in step 3, you choose that set of factors which when added or subtracted give the middle term. Now, when I say the term middle term, I am referring to the term with just x. So we need to find the term, or we need to pick that set of factors from step 2, which when added or subtracted give the middle term, which is 2x. So if we subtract 8 and 3, we get 5. But if we add 8 and 3, we get 11. If we do 24 plus 1, that's 25. If we do 24 minus 9, that's going to be 23. Similarly, 12 plus 2 is 14. 12 minus 2 is 10. And lastly, 6 plus 4 is 10. But 6 minus 4 is going to be 2. Now, if you compare these values to the middle term, 6 minus 4 gives us 2. That's it. None of the other values give us 2. So which means the factors we're going to pick are 6 and 4. Now, I'm just going to erase these steps over here. So now step 4 is replace the middle term with the chosen set of factors. So what we're going to do is, in the question, 3x squared plus 2x minus 8, I'm going to replace 2x minus 8 with plus 6x minus 4x. Now, the reason why we're adding the x with 6 and 4 is because it's 24x squared is basically 6x times 4x. So if we're picking the factors for the addition and subtraction, x also comes with, like, the number. Hence, 2x is replaced by 6x minus 4x. Now we do factor by grouping. So in the factor by grouping part, what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide the equation into two groups. The first two terms make up one group, and the second two terms make up the second group. So one group, second group, and what I'm going to do is yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to factor these into separately into different groups. So between 3x squared and 6x, we have 3x common, and inside the brackets we'll have x plus 2. Similarly, between 4x and negative 8, we have 2 common. So negative 2, we have 4 common. We do have 2 common as well, but it's better to take the higher number. So negative 4, and inside it's going to be x plus 2 as well. Now between 3x and negative 4, we have x plus 2 common now, so we take that common. And in the second bracket, we have 3x minus 4. Now in our question, they were saying factorize. So this is where we stop. This is the factorized answer. If they were asking us to solve it, then we would put the brackets equal to 0 and find the answer. Yeah, so in the next case, they're asking us to solve it. So I'm just going to go back, take this, and this is just 1 mark for part B. So since it's 1 mark, we just put the brackets equal to 0. Because in the questions, they've already put the equation equal to 0, which means we can automatically put these brackets equal to 0 as well. And which means x plus 2 equals to 0, and 3x minus 4 also equals to 0. X equals to negative 2, x equals to 4 over 3. And that's your answer. If you have any questions, just let me know in the comments below and I'll help you out.